On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State Government empowers 20 youth entrepreneurs with 1 million naira each for business development. Governor Ayedatiwa receives former Governor Mimiko's allies into APC ahead governorship election. Osrc correspondent gauges issues that will determine Edo State governorship election. And from the foreign scene, explosions killed 20 people, leaving 450 others injured in Lebanon. Good evening, thanks for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Sahid Arabi Salah. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has vowed to transform the state into Nigeria's leading hub for entrepreneurship, innovation and technology. Speaking at the prize-giving ceremony for the winners of the Ondia My Idea competition in Akure, he reiterated his administration's commitment to fostering an environment where young entrepreneurs can thrive and shine on national and global stages. Government House correspondent Zimo Ebiemi has details as a report is presented from our studios. Each of the 20 winners who emerged from hundreds of applicants from across the state would get 1 million naira cash and 2 million naira worth of working equipment to enhance their businesses. Governor Ayedatiwa had earlier in the year increased the number of beneficiaries from initial 10 to 20 to encourage more young people to embrace entrepreneurship. The governor said the end has come for the narrative of Ondo State being a civil service state. As Ondo State prepares to host the Global Entrepreneurship Festival, Governor Ayedatiwa expressed optimism about the opportunities the event will present. He said the festival would showcase investment opportunities while fostering collaborations that will drive economic growth.
In Ondo State, we recognize the power of entrepreneurship, innovation, creativity, and technology to transform not only the economy, but also lives of our people.
The governor encouraged participants to remain steadfast in their pursuit regardless of competition's outcomes, just as he thanked the Ondia team for their hard work and expressed confidence that the ideas generated through the competition would have a lasting impact on the future of Ondo State.
This business pitching competition is an evidence of my firm belief that our young people are capable of generating groundbreaking ideas that will shape the future of this state and by extension our country and even for them to rule the world.
The special advisor to Ondo State Governor on entrepreneurship, Mr. Smart Francis, noted that the governor's inclusive approach ensures that no community is overlooked, making it easier for aspiring entrepreneurs, even in the most remote areas, to strive. He also highlighted the governor's unwavering commitment to youth development, emphasizing that prioritizing their welfare has been a cornerstone of his administration's effort.
And under his leadership, under his own regime, you will hear that one government system that changed the economic narrative of those states. This civil servant thing that we used to say, all those narratives that we used to hear, it will stop. And sir, I'm proud to say it will stop at your time.
Some of the entrepreneurs appreciated Governor Ayedatiwa for the innovation put in place for the younger generation.
The platform for talent and for ideas to come to life is what we need in Nigeria, even to transform our society. We need to look inward, and an idea like this, an event like this is what births such ideas, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
We learned a lot of things, especially on the testimonies we heard. It's really inspired me, and it's actually helped me to want to do more about myself, to invest more about my skills.
The event brought together dignitaries including the younger generation entrepreneurs from the 18 local government areas of Ondo State.
2016 governorship election in Ondo State, several prominent members and allies of former Governor Olusegun Mimiko from the People's Democratic Party and other political parties have decamped to the ruling All Progressives Congress. The APC flag bearer, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, welcomed the new members with optimism that the party would win. Government House correspondent Zimo Ebiemi found the report and it's presented from our studio.
Receiving the decampees, APC State Chairman Ade Adetimehin expressed happiness over the defection of key opposition figures from PDP, Labour Party and others, noting that collapsing the structures for APC would enhance the party's chances. They said the success of any party is hinged on its ability to manage its members to victory.
Today is a day of joy. All the aspirants in APC were intact. All those people that contested the primary were together, firmly united. That gives us the sign of victory. For you to have come on board to add value into the party, we thank you. We thank you, and we thank you. But one thing I want to assure you, we know your value.
Speaking on behalf of the new members, former member of the House of Representatives from Ondo East and Ondo West Federal Constituency, Joseph Akinlajan, said the decision to defect followed consultations and deliberations. He pledged to embark on word-to-word campaign for Governor Aiyedatiwa.
Kí a ṣiṣẹ́ iṣẹ́ gidi ní November 16 kí Lucky Aiyedatiwa yọ di governor and the grace of God. Ìgbìmọ̀ tí àwọn Olusegun Mimiko wọ́n ní politician tó tẹ̀lé wọn. Wọ́n tún ní voters tó bá mọ kí ni ìrókò wí. Nígbà tí ìrókò wí ní pé ká dìbò fún APC kí Aiyedatiwa Olúmiṣàn Lucky yóò wọlé.
In his remarks, Governor Aiyedatiwa welcomed the defectors, saying the progressive camp has continued to swell.
All of you, I welcome you all. Honorable Goluga, I greet you specially. Kolade Akinjo, the former speaker. John Misakidele, recognize every one of you. And all your leaders, former commissioners, former state ESCO member, former chairman, the Prince Alabi, I recognize all of you.
He assured that their interest would be taken into consideration as part of the party's broader agenda.
Exit from PDP and now coming to APC has made APC, even though we are the one in government and the ruling party with so much strength and power, but your coming has added more strength to us.
Aiyedatiwa expressed confidence in the party's victory and stressed the importance of collective efforts to ensure continuity beyond 2024.
The Kogi State government has inaugurated an implementation committee for the new national minimum wage of 70,000 naira for state workers. The Secretary to the Government of Kogi State, Dr. Folashade Ayoade, who made the announcement during the inauguration of the Implementation Committee in Lokoja, urged committee members to meet expectations and develop effective strategies for the rollout of the new minimum wage. The chairman of the committee and Kogi State Head of Service, Mr. Elijah Evineme, however, assured attendees that the committee would work diligently to fulfill its mandates and justify the confidence placed in them. The federal government has issued a stern warning to private sector employers, stressing that paying below the new 70,000 naira minimum wage could lead to imprisonment. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Labour and Employment, Kacholom Daju, represented by Director of Employment and Wages, John Yamna, said the minimum wage is now a law. Responding to the government's directive, the president of the Employers Association for Private Employment Agencies of Nigeria, Dr. Olufemi Ogunlowo, called for clarity on whether the 70,000 naira minimum wage applies net or gross, urging the government and Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) to address any ambiguities in the act. Chairman of the NLC Lagos State Chapter, Fumilayo Sesi, on a part, underscored the impact of economic challenges on workers' incomes, urging private employers to promptly implement the 70,000 naira minimum wage. We're due for a break on the news at 7. We'll be back with more stories. Stay with us.
Do you know that peace cannot be achieved through violence? It can only be attained through understanding. Undoubtedly, there is a need to generate a culture of peace and conflict-free environment, particularly among youth, because we are key agents of peace building and have roles to play in peace processes. So, as youth, let's stay away from what will disrupt the baseline of safety, making it difficult for the entire communities to sustain a sense of stability, which can also cause mass destruction of cities and have long-lasting effects on a country's economy. Let's do what we have to do to make our states grow and become the envy of all. Do not involve in anything that can bring disorderliness and violence in a society. Seek peace always to make the state a better place to live in. Treat people around you with love, kindness, regardless of race, gender, orientation, religion, and all. Don't engage in violence of any kind. Let us embrace the beauty of every culture and faith to create peace in our world. This message is brought to you by Osrc Television.
Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.orsrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV and on YouTube. You can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Now to Edo State, where eligible voters in Edo State will cast their ballots on Saturday, September 21, to elect a new governor, succeeding the incumbent Godwin Obaseki, whose tenure ends on November 12, 2024. As the election approaches, candidates from 17 political parties have ramped up their campaign activities. Residents of Edo State who spoke with Osrc expressed their hope for a smooth electoral process that will yield a leader capable of advancing the state's development. There's more in this report.
The governorship election in Edo State is set for September 21, 2024, signaling the gradual end of Governor Godwin Obaseki's 8-year tenure, as the governorship election is poised to make known the individual who will succeed the incumbent as the state helmsman, with voters participating across the 4,519 polling units in 192 wards throughout the state's 18 local government areas. 17 political parties have nominated candidates, with Aswe Ighodalo from the PDP aiming to continue the party's current governance, while Senator Mande Ekpolo represents the APC seeking to regain power. The Labour Party's Olumide Akpata, a former Nigerian Bar Association president, is also in the race, alongside other candidates hoping to break the cycle of governance enjoyed by the PDP and APC since 1999.
The people are very eager to vote the candidate of their choice. You know, the things very dicey here because APC is there, PDP is not there, and Labour Party is also there, and other political parties they are all there. But to me, the main dominant party in this election is APC and PDP. Even the Labour Party, it's pretty strong. What will determine the election is the personalities of the candidates. What are you going to show? The battleground lies in Edo South, because that's where the population is high. Whatever happens in Edo North, Edo Central, but the dominant factor is Edo South. The beliefs, because the large number of population.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) reports that there are 2,629,025 registered voters in Edo State. Political figures have been actively campaigning with significant focus on ensuring a peaceful electoral process amidst concerns about violence and voter safety. Campaigns have highlighted key issues such as insecurity, agriculture, and infrastructure. The state has also played host to prominent political figures, including Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who is a member of the APC National Campaign Council. With the countdown to the election's D-Day, residents of the state who spoke with Osrc highlighted issues such as approaches to fighting insecurity, plans to boost agriculture and infrastructure as key determinants to shape the choice of electorates.
Things that are really begging for attention at those states is security and food, because if you have food, everything will be okay, because a hungry man is an angry man. If there is violence in any state, it will be because of the hunger, and at the same time insecurity makes people not to go to the farm again, especially in the interior, in the villages. People don't go to farm anymore, and that's another thing that is causing scarcity of food and hunger in the land.
Everybody has his own manifesto, so when it comes, so the president was tackling security, and I hope if another one comes, he will be able to continue.
INEC has prepared over 5,000 bimodal voter accreditation systems, while 35,000 police personnel will be deployed alongside 8,000 others from sister agencies for security during the elections.
The political climate here in Edo State continues to gather momentum, and the actors are going about seeking vote from the electorate. But who will get the victory come September 21? The day and the results will tell. From Benin in Edo State, Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
That was earlier in Edo State, Benin City. The Police Service Commission (PSC) monitoring team has arrived in Edo State ahead of the September 21 governorship poll in the state. The Commission's head, Press and Public Relations, Ikechukwu Ani, said the personnel would monitor the conduct of police officers during Saturday's governorship elections in the state. Ani said the team will be led by a retired Deputy Inspector General of Police, Taiwo Lakono, and will include other high-ranking staff. He added that the monitoring of police conduct during elections is one of the Commission's obligations to ensure the sustenance of the nation's fragile democracy. He said as the lead agency in internal security, which includes the security of elections, the police in Edo elections should exhibit strong leadership qualities expected of them. The National Examination Council (NECO) has released the results of the June-July 2024 Senior School Certificate Examination, with 60.55% of candidates securing 5 credits and above in English language and mathematics. The Registrar of NECO, Professor Dantani Ibrahim Oshishi, made this known while briefing journalists at the NECO headquarters in Minna, Niger State. Professor Oshishi disclosed that a total of 1,376,423 candidates, comprising 706,950 males and 669,473 females, registered for the exam. He urged candidates who sat for the examination to visit the NECO website to access their results. The National Agency for Food and Drugs Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has alerted Nigerians to the sale of a fake soap labeled as Dettol Health Fresh Soap in the market. According to the alert on NAFDAC's website, the manufacturer of Dettol antiseptic products confirmed that the soap is fake, as it does not have any products by the name Dettol Health Fresh Soap. It added that details of the complaint's products were not provided by the complainant, except for the name of the product Dettol Health Fresh Soap. The agency noted that the illegal marketing of NAFDAC-regulated products or fake products poses a risk to people's health, and since they do not comply with the regulatory provisions, the product's safety, quality and efficacy are not guaranteed. It said all NAFDAC zonal directors and state coordinators have been directed to carry out surveillance and mop up the fake product if found within the zones and states. The Osun State Police Command says it has arrested 7 suspects for selling human parts and water used to bathe corpses in the state. A statement signed by the acting Police Public Relations Officer of the command, Emmanuel Giwa Alade, said the suspects arrested included 2 mortuary attendants and a 42-year-old man. Giwa Alade said the suspects were arrested upon credible information that the mortuary attendant in Ipetu, Ijesha, was selling remains of corpses deposited at the mortuary where he worked to native doctors. Outside Nigeria now, at least 20 people have been killed and 450 wounded in Lebanon in a new wave of blasts related to communications devices. The Ministry of Public Health says a day after thousands of pagers used by Hezbollah detonated across the country. The attacks, which were widely believed to be carried out by Israel against Hezbollah, have raised fears that the two sides' simmering conflict could escalate into all-out war. Among the dead are civilians as well as Hezbollah members. Aderonke Kwale completes the story.
Grief turned to fear in a matter of seconds. Crowds has gathered for the funeral of a child and members of Hezbollah when hundreds of mourners were surprised by an explosion. Hundreds of communication devices built simultaneously across Lebanon, killing several, injuring hundreds, among them civilians.
Yes, there are indeed many injuries, and today's incidents involve larger and bigger devices that cause more damage. Therefore, the data today might indicate an increase. We have observed a significant number of injuries, although many are mild. However, those who sustain serious injuries are severely affected, which raises our concern about a potential rise in the number of deaths.
It's the second wave of coordinated attacks on communication devices in the country in 2 days.
I did not expect what happened today. Things are repeating all over again. We had some devices here that we believed were 100% safe, but out of caution, we removed them from the store because we got worried. Our enemy is a traitor. May God give us peace. That's all we can say.
The Nepalese group did not comment on Wednesday attacks, but blamed Israel for detonating hundreds of pagers the day before. Hezbollah officials called this a new phase in regional tensions and warned of reprisal.
This aggression inevitably has its own punishment. It has its own retribution. This punishment will come, God willing.
Doctors say hundreds of patients are in critical condition with deep explosion-related wounds, and now more on the way.
Since yesterday, it's been really a very busy and stressful time for us. So we received more than 150 patients in a record time of less than 3 hours. Most of them have injuries to their face, including the eyes, the nose, and the facial bones, in addition to injuries to the hands and fingers and to the waist and lower abdomen.
United in shock and grief and fearful of an all-out war with Israel, people in Beirut and Sidon show solidarity, showing up in numbers to donate blood for the injured.
I think that donating blood is the least we can do under these circumstances, and God heal all the injured.
There are fears medical facilities could also be targeted. Lebanese soldiers have found explosives and carried out controlled explosions, including one found in an ambulance outside the hospital in Beirut. Medical staff says the irregular use pagers and walkie-talkies to perform the duties. Aderonke Kolawole, Osrc News.
Israeli security services have arrested an Israeli citizen suspected of being involved in an Iranian-backed plot to assassinate Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other high-ranking officials. According to a joint statement by Israeli police and domestic intelligence, the suspect is a businessman who had been smuggled into Iran twice. He allegedly received payment from Iranian agents to carry out missions as part of the assassination plot. The arrest highlights the escalating hostilities between Israel and Iran, with both nations frequently accusing each other of covert operations and acts of aggression. Israeli authorities are treating the case with high urgency, viewing it as a serious threat to national security. Colombia's government has suspended peace talks with the rebel group ELN. It follows an attack by the group that killed 2 soldiers and left more than 24 troops injured in the Arauca region on the border with Venezuela. The attack was the worst in months by the last standing rebel organization in the country, and it comes at a critical moment in the front peace negotiations between the group and the South American government. Blessing Obi has more.
Ambulance is rushed to the hospital in the border city of Barauca as doctors struggle to save the life of dozens of soldiers injured following an explosive attack by ELN rebels on a military base. It was the worst attack in months by the 60-year-old rebel organization that operates between Colombia and Venezuela. The rebels fire homemade rockets from a cargo truck, killing 2 soldiers and seriously injuring at least 27 others.
In this criminal act, they obviously use devices prohibited under international humanitarian law. That affects the troops and also impacts the civilian population near the units.
Wishing peace with the ELN has been the cornerstone of leftist President Gustavo Petro's ambitious policy of total peace, aimed at securing deals with all remaining groups in the country. But after the attack, Petro hinted at ending the talks, saying that it reminded him of a similar assault that led to 21 police cadet deaths in 2019 and that ended a previous attempt at negotiations.
This happened nearby in the police school, where many police officers, cadets, were studying. They died. This is an act that in practice closes the peace process with bloodshed.
Security analyst Elizabeth Dekese says it is clear that the government has lost patience with the process, that many fear that ending it could produce a blow to the entire policy of peace.
We have more than a dozen states sitting alongside the negotiation who have invested significant resources in trying to move this conflict, which has been going on for more than a half century, to a final point. And I think that investment is really what has kept this negotiating table alive and really the only opportunity that we have to save it at this point.
Colombian security forces will likely crack down on the yearland in response to the latest attack. Many fear that a new escalation of violence will further eliminate the hopes of ending more than 5 decades of conflict. Blessing Obi, Osrc News.
And to end the news tonight, another look at the major stories. Ondo State government has empowered 20 young entrepreneurs with 1 million naira each for business development. Was told you that Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa was received former Governor Mimiko's allies into the All Progressives Congress APC ahead November 16 governorship poll. And ahead Edo governorship election, Osrc correspondent has gauged issues that could influence the choice of electorate and outcome of the poll. And from the foreign scene, explosions have killed 20 people and left 450 others injured in Lebanon. And that's the news tonight. Thanks for watching. Good evening.